pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. And as we normally do, we'll start this meeting tonight with our esteemed resource officer, Toad, and he can give the crime report.
All right, the crime report since the last meeting. 600 block of Ruthven Road, we had larceny Fumato, times 3. One occurred on 12/29, one occurred on 1/12, and one occurred on 1/17. Vehicles were entered, items stolen, including a purse, a firearm, and a backpack. 7300 block Newport Ave, we had back windshield broken from a vehicle, items were taken. Suspect was a white male, 40 to 50 years old, left in a green SUV. That's under investigation.
Where's the, oh, it's right here.
Yeah.
It was in this parking lot. Okay, great.
100 block Sterling Court, larceny Fumato. Window was pulled down, items were taken. 100 block North Shore Road, you had larceny of license plates. 500 block Timothy Avenue, you had larceny of wallet left on the ground while they were playing basketball and subsequently stolen. 7600 block of Bondale Drive, you had a stolen vehicle. It's a stolen Hyundai, unknown if the keys were left in it. Again, 7600 block Bondale Avenue, aggravated assault is domestic related and cleared by responding officers by arrest. That's what you've had since your last meeting.
We gotta talk at all about the shooting.
We can.
Yes, why don't you elaborate on that?
Okay. So I talked to my Lieutenant Pickering. So apparently it was a call for service. This is pretty much what the chief said on his interview. The responding officer, they went after the individual, had a knife in his hand, and subsequently was shot. He, went down, and after that, that's still under investigation. To my knowledge, I don't have any further knowledge after the fact. But from what I understand from people on scene when I got there, that's what I was told, was that he had a knife in his hands. He turned to face the officers and took a charge, and that's when it occurred. So,
What property was he actually shot? What property?
yeah, well, he was on that parking lot property over by the T-Mobile, but it started at the Harris Teeter.
That's where he was actually going, he was
He was doing the
testing
car door
handles.
handles at Harris Teeter, and then when they approached, he went across the street, and that's where the
Okay. And the
encounter
security guard was the Harris Teeter security guard,
That's
right?
correct.
Was he an off-duty policeman?
No, they
Okay.
have armed security at the Harris
Okay.
Teeter. So if I'm allowed to give any more out, I will let you guys know in an email. But I have to wait, and when they give it to me, I can give it to you, type of thing. I'm not allowed to give out anything else that hasn't been told to me.
Do you ever shoot at the legs instead of the heart? And do you ever use tasers anymore?
So what we're trained to do is shoot for center mass. We're not trained to shoot at legs, arms, feet, hands. It's always center mass is what we're trained to do. Some officers carry tasers, some don't. I don't. I started this job with what I have on me, and that's what I prefer to have. But that's me. Newer officers, they like to have the taser. It just depends. I've been doing it for 20 years. They didn't have tasers when I came out. And it just depends. You can get into a lot of what ifs. I call it like a rabbit hole. So what if you tased them? If the guys, you know what I mean? Like it could just snowball. Like if you're chasing somebody and he runs out in traffic and you tase him and he falls forward in the way of a
Into
car.
traffic, right?
You know what I mean? All these things come into play. So it's easier to deal with the facts of what occurred than to try and say what if this and what if that. That's my take on it. That may not be the department's take on it, but they'll give out their statements as they go. But officers have to utilize whatever tools they have, and it's up to that individual officer at the time of the incident. And it'll get explained why he chose what he chose, and it'll be, explained to y'all how and when. But yeah, it's up to the individual officers how they proceed in the incidents that they encounter. So every officer is different, we're all different people, but no, it's, when we shoot for center mass to stop the threat. So that's what we're trained to do. Any other questions?
Was his body cam on when that happened?
Yes.
Will that ever get released as public record?
I cannot answer that, that'd be up to the PIO to answer, police officer, or information officer, or chief's office. So,
I haven't read much media about this, but is the person that was shot, was he from around here? Was
yeah,
he
he's a
part of
local, he's
part of
known.
Ward's Corner, known as just a person or known as someone who had been breaking into cars?
Did he have a record, you don't know?
Yeah, I can't give out that kind of information.
Local meaning from
Yeah,
Ward's
like
Corner?
the businesses know him.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
He's known to the businesses.
Okay.
He's known to some of the officers, but I'm not able to give out information on his record or anything
Okay.
like that. That's of my decision
Thank
making.
you.
Anybody else?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
On to the next.
All right,
Mhm.
thank you. So, let's see. Tonight, our featured speaker is, Mel Price, part of the, work program architects to talk, is that to talk about what we have right here? Is that?
Yes.
Okay. If you would like to take over, sir?
Sure.
The whole team, go for it. And, here, take the podium, please.
Thank you very much for having
Okay,
us.
not a problem.
Well, greetings. Thanks very much for having us tonight. I'm joined with a great team of our executive director from Next Step Success, Monique Turner Lopez, who will chat with you about the program. And then Mel Price of WPA and her colleagues, partners, Tom White, Sharon Manana from WPA, and then our contractor, builder, Thomas McCarthy, and who else is with us from
Phil Hodges.
Bo? Yes, thank you, Bo. Could you
One more from WPA,
Oh,
Chris Crowder.
Oh, hi, Chris. How about you? Yeah.
I thought it was a good turnout.
Back to red, yeah. Well, maybe this show of force, if you will, is, I'm Chuck McPhillips. I'm the chairman of Next Step to Success.
No, I'm sorry, I misrepresented.
That's okay, it's easy to, yes.
Oh, that's, we're a team. I work for Mel.
There you go.
What made the show of force is an indication of how serious an undertaking we are going to present to you, how much we're investing in it, and how much we care about this. We'll give you, I'm going to try to be very brief because I think you'd be more interested in the beautiful design of what's intended for this campus, to call it, and the specific activities happening. And Mel and Monique can speak to those matters respectively. Maybe I can just back up and give you a big picture or a background of this. Barry Rodston Trust, which I represent as chair, has been here in Norfolk for 90 years. Many of you be familiar with our campus on Kempsville Road, right across from Satara Lee, where we started out as a boys' school, Catholic boys' school, and then high school over the first 45 years. Now, I wasn't there back then. Most people think I'll go back to those 90 years. But have been there for quite a while. I practice law as my day job, so Martin and I are in the same vineyard Monday through Friday. But the joy of my life is working on things in the community, which I dearly love, being a native of Norfolk. So we're going to share with you kind of the thoughts, even the brain science, with the gray matter behind this. And Mel is going to show you the body of this, but maybe we ought to also share with you the heart behind this, so you know what's propelling us forward. And I like to tell people, my grandparents arrived in Norfolk in 1919, bless you, with nothing but their faith, their work ethic, and their love of family. And here I am a few years later, and I'm able to have the honor and opportunity of being a part of something like this. I like to say everything I've got in this life is really Norfolk. It's all I have. I've got some family and friends elsewhere, but by and large, everything I love, everyone I love, is right here in Norfolk. I love this place. You all do too, I trust. You care about your community, your neighborhood. But I also like to say I love Norfolk so much I want to change it. Make it more beautiful, more inclusive, more enterprising, more rich with opportunity, safer, better educated, more welcoming to people of all backgrounds. And that we love Norfolk, and it's a great city. Let's look ourselves in the mirror, and we have some problems here. I'm not going to catalog all those problems, but maybe the one that brings us here tonight is the chronic intergenerational poverty that has afflicted us for so long. Don't maybe be familiar with the statistics. The poverty rate in Norfolk is a little under twice the state average. Most tellingly, the poverty rate among children growing up in Norfolk is over 25%. More than 1 in 4 children are growing into poverty. In some neighborhoods in Norfolk, not too far from where I work downtown, over 50%. And when you scope it out, if you look at just sort of the general incomes here in Norfolk, our household incomes on average around $60,000. In Virginia Beach, our next door neighbor, around $82,000, $83,000. A lot different. So we've got, and those poverty statistics especially haunt me. I was honored to be selected to serve and was able to serve on the Mayor's Commission on Poverty Reduction in 2013, 2014, when I was able to do a deep dive on the nature of our poverty here and root causes and some ideas about how to deal with it. And it took a while to figure out, what we might be able to do. How people are. I'm like this. I don't know anybody. No, you would be like this. But you hear about a problem, whether it's crime or education or poverty. Say, well, they ought to do something about it. They ought to do something about it. Since we've been here 90 years, and for those 90 years, we've been about improving the lives of children and their families, and building on what we've done well. We ultimately came to the conclusion we are they. Not that we can do anything by ourselves, but we have to have partners and supporters, the city, volunteer organizations, neighbors, people who care about the families to help us, but that we would take the lead.
I'm going to use that we are they.
We are they.
Which is, I get today all the time.
Yeah. So let me back up about us. I mentioned the property on Kentsville Road. That's the one on the left, the James Barry Robinson Institute, sometimes referred to as the Barry Robinson Center. Nothing changing out there. It primarily serves.
You come this way and I'll go
Oh,
this
that
way.
way, okay,
That way
we'll
you'll
go
be
there.
closer.
Primarily serves a population of military-connected families. I'm modest and biased, I guess, is thinking that in saying it's the best behavioral health, emotional health treatment facility at school for youngsters. We do start as young as age 7, but most of them are teenagers, and we do our best to get those young folks back on their feet, their lives stabilized, and back home as soon as we can. And it's our way of kind of supporting the military families. Also has some very vital community-based programs, therapeutic foster care, an intensive outpatient program for teenagers with young adults with substance abuse issues. Nothing's changing. Actually, there is one thing that changed out there. We sold 7 acres. It's not really shown above it. We had surplus land that really wasn't being used, and it was a nice luxury to have. But when we weighed that in the balance of what we're talking to you about tonight, attacking poverty reduction in Norfolk, we said that needed to yield to that cost. So we sold that property. Apartments being built on that, and we're using those funds to help, fund this program. Our other offspring is just turned 19. St. Patrick Catholic School. It is a Catholic school coming back to the roots of what Barry Robinson was 90 years ago. Mel and Tom worked on this in their former firm, and it's in. I assume most of you all are familiar with on Bowling Avenue in Larchmont. Thank you. You see a theme here. We're doing campuses not out in the country, but here in the heart of Norfolk, and We're proud of what St. Patrick's has achieved and is achieving. We're immodest and biased in claiming that we're going to be the best Catholic school in the country. Not too long from now, we're making strides there. I don't claim that yet. But welcoming families of all walks of life, with about 62% Catholic, 38-40% friends of other faith, a very ecumenical, very warm place where lots of financial aid is provided for some of the youngsters of the same demographics who would come to Next Step to Success, but are looking for a Catholic school type education. And then our third offspring just turned, 2.5 a few weeks ago, Monique.
We're not the terrible twos.
Not the terrible two, the terrific two. And it's Next Step to Success. We're already here, we're already down the street. We were at Blessed Sacrament Church in the social hall, the classroom space. About 70 young folks, ages 13 to 18. 90+% in Norfolk Public Schools. Cody can give you a further breakdown, come from about 10 or 12 schools. We pick them up at their school. It's an after-school program during the academic year and a full-day program during the summer, where we provide the transportation, meals, and then a full battery of programming to help improve their chances in life. They're great kids. Each and every one of them, we would love it. Of course, at St. Patrick's up in 8th grade, some mostly older, but they're great kids. Maybe they didn't have the best hand dealt to them at birth in terms of the incomes, but they're not defined by how rich or poor their parents are, but they're defined, in our view and in their view, about how they rise to the occasion, about how they react to their circumstances and how they move forward with life. And so fundamentally, we're not teaching biology or algebra or English composition, but we're teaching everything else that goes into youth development, into successful, happy adults. We stress a number of character traits that have been shown by the data, the literature, as especially powerful in enabling young folks to be successful and happy in their and live fulfilling lives as adults. Grit, your ability to set a long-term goal and persevere to achieve it. Your growth mindset to identify, what happened when you had a setback and learn from it rather than be defeated by it. Your learned optimism, which very similarly says, hey, if something goes wrong, it doesn't mean I'm always going to lose, or I'm bad, or it's all me. It could be just something that wasn't the time, but it's not yet. Get it the next time. And then what Ian Rowe calls personal agency, your belief in your ability to change your life and your world for the better. So there's a moral component, but also belief in your ability to take things forward. Those are the ones we stress the most because there's so much data and science behind it, but conscientiousness and gratitude and empathy and teamwork, all kinds of character strengths that are so richly associated with overcoming any obstacles in your life. Again, Monique can talk to you more about the details of the program. I'll wrap up by saying, we have a few fundamental beliefs and just a few fundamental requirements of our youth. Our fundamental belief is that all youth want to succeed. All youth can succeed. Our job is to make them believe it. And then what's on us, on all of us, is that all youth deserve a fair shot, a fair chance to earn success. Nobody's going to confer it upon them or give it to them. That's not our promise. Our promise is to help you grow in character, in life skills, in higher expectation, in healthy relationships, so that you are, as we say, empowered to build the independent, resilient character that will enable you to earn success and enjoy happy, fulfilling lives. So that's what we're about every day. We do have a central thesis that goes back to my time on the Mayor's Poverty Commission, in which I learned about the efficacy, the power, the near infallibility of a lifetime strategy called the success sequence, which is richly associated. We'll go into more detail about that, but it is a staircase of steps you can take in your life that are going to maximize your odds, maximize your chances of success, to the point where if you follow every step in the success sequence, you have a 97 or 90, depending on what study you pick, 97 or 98% probability of escaping poverty, and even beyond that, as high as a 90% probability, no matter where you started in life, no matter what race you are, where you grew up, parents' education, as high as a 90% chance of being in the middle class or higher income levels. So what distinguishes us from there's some great programs in this community that do such work. The United Way and their United for Children in some of the downtown neighborhoods, Teens with a Purpose, any kind of boys and girls clubs, the YMCA, and so we stand on their shoulders. What I guess we bring to the table is that central overriding strategy of the success sequence, the level of investment that I can talk to you about, not just in terms of bricks and mortar that Mel's going to show you, but in terms of the human resources, the people we're bringing to it, and that passion and the 90-year legacy of Vera Robson that we're going to carry forward for the next 90 years until Norfolk's poverty rate is cut in half. We hope within a generation. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. Going back to the part I talked about earlier, we'll either achieve that or I'll die trying. Okay. Monique, do you want to say, or Bill, who's going next? Monique's next, okay.
So
Yeah, your way.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing us to be here tonight to share your community, your neighborhood. As Chuck mentioned, my name is Monique Turner-Lopez. I'm the Executive Director of Next Step to Success, and we actually started during June of 2021. That summer we were based at St. Patrick Catholic School for our first summer camp, and because it was during COVID, we had very few youth attend. We had probably on a good day 8 youth, and today, this past summer, we had we had close to 80 young people participate in our summer program, so we've grown tremendously within the last 2 years. We continue to serve that amount of young people in our after-school program. So basically, we have an after-school program that follows Norfolk Public Schools calendar, Monday through Friday. We started around 2 p.m. in the afternoon by picking up the young people in our vans. You might have seen our vans with the high top yellow sneaker on it, driving by. It's one of our vans. We pick up the youth from their middle schools or high schools, bring them to our site. They have a snack. They participate in a range of both on-site and off-site activities. We feed them a nice catered family-style dinner, and then we bring them home at night. And then in the summer, we convert to a full-day summer program where we pick the young people up from their homes at 8 in the morning, and yes, they are ready. We bring them to our site. They have a continental breakfast. They participate in a range of activities, which I'll share about in a minute. They have a catered lunch, and then at the end of the day, we bring them home, and on Fridays are reserved for field trips to different colleges, such as Christopher Newport University, Norfolk State, ODU. We'll go to trade schools as well in the area, excuse me. And then on Fridays, we bring them home after the field trip. Our theory of change is kind of like what Chuck described. If we encourage our young people to follow the success sequence, and we expose them to a range of services, supports, opportunities that they would have not had, that will help them build their character skills like grit and growth mindset, personal agency, learned optimism, and all the other things that you need to be successful in life. All those 21st century soft skills that many employers say they need for their future workforce or even for today's workforce. We believe that they can be successful, and we believe, because of the data that's been presented, that's been done on a national level, that our young people can break the cycle of poverty that unfortunately exists in their families. So what do we do? What does that mean? Everything I said. Well, we offer cooking classes. We have free guitar lessons with Tidewater classical guitar. We do sailing with Sail Nauticus. We have done violin classes. We do acting with Virginia Stage. We have done hair braiding with a woman who's a certified cosmetologist and teaches hair braiding. We do jewelry design. We do wood boat making with Tidewater Wooden Boat Workshop. We've done gardening with the master gardeners, so you name it, we probably have done it. We ask our young people, what is it that you would like to learn? And we try to find companies or other nonprofits or individuals to teach it. We've done etiquette classes where our young people then go to Town Point Club and practice their etiquette skills. We always say that our young people have a membership for life. That it doesn't matter if you're 13, 33, 63, that we will always be there by your side, and that we'll be your personal board of directors. So this year is actually our first year where we have 3 high school seniors, 1 who's planning to attend the military, 2 have already been accepted into college, and our hope is to help them with their FAFSA so that they can get the financial aid that they need so that they can be well supported during their college years. And we'll be starting our first alumni chapter after they graduate this June. So it's happening so fast. And my word for this year really has been surreal. That this is, our new building is surreal. That having youth that are graduating from our program is surreal. When we first started, we actually said we were going to focus on young people ages 13 through 15. But then the 15-year-olds turned 16, and they said, well, what am I going to do? I want to keep going. So we changed the age to 16. Then we had to change it to 17, and now we're at 18. So they are stopping there because those that graduate from high school and they complete the traditional program will then go on to our alumni chapter. So I know there's more that I could share and I don't want to. I want to turn it over to Mel. So
One
she
thing
can
I
go
should have
over
said, maybe,
Yes.
is young folks are admitted to this program without regard to religious background or anything
Absolutely.
else. We take folks from all walks of life,
Absolutely.
and with special focus on young folks who are in the more at-risk neighborhoods
Yes.
and communities. But they're all good kids, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
They are inquisitive, they're loving, they're kind, and they see our place, they're very excited about our new building, but they see our place as a second home. And for some young people, it's almost like a first home. It's not uncommon for the youth to board our vans at the end of the night and say, can you drop me off last? It's not uncommon. When we have field trips, they fill up quickly. And, you know, a lot of the challenges that our young people are going through, I have never even seen in my lifetime. And when Chuck shares about how fortunate he is, I agree with him. And while I'm not originally from Norfolk, I do have Virginia roots. Both my parents were born in Virginia. My mother was raised in a small town, Virginia, that you have to open up the map to see, close to South Boston. And I'm incredibly grateful to do this work because every day I see the young people, they inspire me. And Chuck, when he shares about his dream, it inspires me that I know we're on the path to great things for our young people. And I long for the day that I can watch them cross the stage for their high school graduation, for their college graduations, or whatever they decide to do in life, because I know that they are true success stories, not only today, but as they become adults, and they become the leaders of the city, and they become the homeowners of the city, and they become the philanthropists in the city, and they become the patrons of the arts and the taxpayers in the city. So for any of you who may be interested in ever volunteering, please speak to me. We are open to having volunteers, and we'd love for you to be a part of our community just as much as we want to be a part of your community. So thank you for hosting us tonight, and I'm gonna turn it over to Mel and step to the side so she can showcase this wonderful, beautiful building.
So in this presentation, hopefully, I think you'll get this circulated to you via email. If you haven't already, we've embedded a video here, so this will take you to YouTube and you can really find out more about the program. And then this slide, when you open that at home, will take you to the website and you can really go through all of the programs and questions and revisit hours and all of that. But I'm really here to tell you about the campus design. So again, I'm Mel Price. I'm an architect and urban designer here with this wonderful team here. And we'll start with the big picture. Monique and Chuck just told you that the program's been running for over 2 years, right next door in the neighborhood at Blessed Sacraments. We have that labeled up at the top. And of course, we're talking about moving south just a bit to the DePaul site. Everything that you'll see in the design is actually pulled from the history of the site. And when Chuck showed us these pictures, we were all very inspired by the original St. Vincent de Paul house, which really had its start in the yellow fever epidemic and then transitioned over to DePaul Hospital in its first version and origination. Any more on that?
Right
Chuck?
down, yeah, the name of the owner was Anne Plume B. Heron. She was an immigrant from Ireland, and she, during the yellow fever epidemic of 1855, you all know your history, about 1/3 of Norfolk population succumbed. She turned the home over to the Sisters of Charity, and by 1856 it evolved into the hospital. The hospital grew up around it. This was downtown at Church and Wood Streets, and was there until the modern era. In fact, my father was born in that hospital. We never had a Vincent in the family before he came along. He was the 6th of 6 children, the first one ever born in a hospital. My grandparents were so proud they let him out the hospital.
When was it torn down?
It was torn down, well, at the time, the hospital moved out here to Kingsley Lane in 1944.
Okay.
Sort of that era.
Wood Street, I think. We looked at
Church and
it.
Wood. It's here where the redevelopment is occurring.
Okay.
Right in order where the
Okay.
redevelopment is
Right where
occurring.
the bus
Okay,
station. Yep.
okay.
So we really took our inspiration from that original kind of Norfolk vernacular traditional house, because as Monique said, the kids are really looking for a home, and to us that really embodied what home would look like in its simplest terms. So Sharon and Tom and I have been working with Monique and her whole team, all of the success coaches, and we've been working on the design together, and we always start with design principles. principles? What are the values we're gonna hold ourselves to in the design? So warm and welcoming arrival. When we get into the floor plans, you'll see these learning pods, flexible, creative-based, collaborative problem-solving classrooms. Design inspired by the site, inspired by the beautiful trees and the front lawn on the site, wanting to create this warm face to the neighborhood. Home away from home, and then a way for the kids to put their best foot forward. I'll walk you through the site. We've put copies of the site plan, they're labeled, you see the renderings in front of you so you can follow along if you like. But a couple of important things. We watched the meetings that you all had gone through with the previous developer. And so what we heard that was important to you was, number one, keep all of those beautiful trees out front, have a green space, have walking trails around the campus for the community. We heard that you were really worried about traffic and parking, and so we have designed this to have absolutely minimal traffic input for the neighborhood. We did not want to create any congestion at all on Newport Avenue, so while that is the front door to face the neighborhood and be beautiful, it is not the door that folks come in and out of. In case an Amazon delivery driver or someone uses this front entrance, we have done a pull-off lane to really keep that traffic off the court. We heard there were concerns about parking, and as Monique said, parents are not dropping off kids here. It's not like a school in that way. Only the success coaches and staff are parking on site, so we actually have more parking than is required for the facility. But that was done really in the hopes that the community would use the playing fields after hours, and you might want to have some parking nearby if games are happening. So front door, the front face is here, but the way that the kids are coming to the campus is along Kingsley, and then turning up, coming in the back along Painter, and I'm not tall enough to reach up here, but turning down, coming through this van loop, and you see the vans kind of stacked there. You'll see a covered entrance here, so they're gonna drop the kids off. If it's raining, they'll come under here. If it's sunny, they're probably gonna run around in this green courtyard, and then come into the back of the main administration building. From there, they'll drop their book bags, their musical instruments, they'll put them in cubbies. They'll head north into building 4 and 5. This is the cafeteria, gymnasium, the theater. They'll have a snack there, and then they'll go along the success path that they've chosen. So they'll go to a series of classes and activities, and those will be in these learning houses. And we want to be very clear in the use of the word house. No one is living here, no one is sleeping here, but we say we call it learning houses because we really want it to feel like home and a home away from home. All of these learning houses have a front porch and a front door that comes out to the sidewalk that faces the street to create that neighborly edge. But again, that's not how people are coming to and from the buildings. All of the circulation happens along the back. All of these buildings are connected with a hallway. And these front porches might be a place to put a Christmas tree or pumpkins on the porch and any sort of holiday decorations. It might be a great place to have a class photo. One thing that we're hoping to do and hoping to get results back soon is preserve the chapel that was a part of DePaul Hospital. Right now, structural engineers have been out there building envelope folks to see if that's something we can preserve. It's a pretty iconic kind of mid-century modern building, and we'd love to make that available. In the back, you'll see a series of gardens behind the learning houses, and the thought is this is where kids can help grow their own food, take it into the teaching kitchen, you can learn anything from cooking, you can learn history, science, math, how to grow and prepare your own healthy food. And then you'll see a large, actually regulation size, competition size soccer field labeled in 18, parking for the playing field there in 17, and some additional parking down here in 19. Important to note, we have put our labeled notes here, but right now there are no plans for this side of the site along Granby Street. We also want to point out, labeled here, potential future green space and playing field. Right now, Ray Robinson does not own this land, but Chuck, if you wanna say.
Well, all I've got is a handshake with Home Secure that when they are in a position to sell it, that they will offer it to us. It's all tied up into a ground lease with the relatively new medical office building there on the south side, so they have to extricate it from that and then provide it to us. It might be, something where, we can, acquire it, and we'd love to, and then have it, playing fields. Maybe there's some minor structure there to help facilitate athletics, but that would, dress up that very, kind of, very much of an eyesore, right now.
Ugly part, really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free, go ahead.
Yeah, fingers crossed, yeah.
So,
Um,
okay,
Can we ask a
Sure.
question on,
Absolutely.
go back,
sure,
right on the side there where the
Yes.
notes section
yes,
there are some medical buildings, is that,
Yes.
and that are still in existence as far as I know?
they are.
They are, one of them is completely empty, the one closest to Graham Street 100, Kingsley Lane, is completely empty.
Okay, they.
110
moved
has
that
got a
stuff
few tenants, but they're beginning to move out, and,
Okay.
and 160 has one tenant, and they're looking to relocate. So, we have not, we don't show anything, we don't know what's gonna happen up there.
out. Okay, so you don't own that land
We
right
do,
there?
we do,
Oh,
we do, we
okay,
own the
you do.
whole
Yeah.
all the property north of Kingsley.
Okay,
It's a
Just
question,
this
Granby
one
Street
that
though?
yes, we own the hospital building and the 3 medical office buildings and all the land.
okay.
The reason we're just trying to be mindful of, I got my contract here I gotta negotiate with, so it all depends on how far down on the price they come. If they come down far enough, they can keep that land and expand.
I understand.
But to protect it, this is very important, it's, the rezoning we're applying for is what's called IN conditional, so it's all tied to this program. You don't have to worry about a bait and switch, something else going, it all has to be this or something, part of our program, we might add something here or there, but it's gotta be based on. So if we decided, and I hope we don't have to, if we decided to sell the property along Grammy Street, it would have to go through the whole rezone, if it's not part of us, it would have to go through the whole rezoning process, so they have to come back through this civic league and every other civic league, and go through planning.
Is there any possibility your campus would expand all the way to Granby Street?
Yes, we'd love to have that option. It comes down to dollars and cents, so construction prices, interest rates.
Oh, no, I get
and
it.
how much, we're gonna, very honest, we've been good stewards, watched our pennies over the year, so we bought the property. We're paying for the demolition, and we're gonna pay for the lion's share of the construction, but we're gonna need to raise some money, to help us, to build out the campus, so it kind of depends on cost, and then how much of the additional land we can